Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're back with another fun two-color bracelet. This one was pattern 103437, and that's over on friendshipbracelets.net. And in case you're interested in the Kumi, that is pattern 4950, again on friendshipbracelets.net. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. I've been making Mandy, instead of like having her create her own Kumis, she's now going through the website and finding interesting ones to use. This way you guys can actually match to the way I did the bracelet, in case you're interested in that kind of thing. So if you are, leave a comment. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think about it. Yeah. So this bracelet starts out with a real easy little diamond area, and then has a more complicated secondary area. So it's kind of, parts of it are easy, where parts of it are, you know, a little bit more of a mixed bag. It's definitely not beginner friendly, I would say. The part where it kind of zigzags around a lot is a bit more difficult. And yeah, and you also notice when it comes, so I used variegated floss, the floss that kind of fades from one color to another. You'll see that there are some places where I exchange it with, you know, one of the other ones, just to kind of change the color effect. But for the most part, like if it was going to change to be too dramatic, if it was going to go from light to suddenly a very dark patch, I tried to avoid that and kind of let it kind of do a natural progression, just because it looks a bit nicer. But yeah, that part of this kind of changed up a bit. Also, there were some of the strands get used a lot more than the others. It's just kind of the way that the pattern was laid out. But because you have other strings of the same color, you can exchange when necessary and balance this out. So don't get too worried about having a string that's gonna run out, because like I said, you can swap it around, you can change it. But yeah, like during some of those zigzag parts, I'm using the same string, even though I could keep altering it, just so that way it kind of fades through kind of nicer than how choppy it would have looked otherwise. Also, when doing the variegated, I personally think this looks better because you have a strong solid and to go with the variegated. Whether it was a lighter or darker one doesn't matter. But having that solid makes it so that way you can still distinctively see what the pattern is. If you did this with two sets of variegated, it would get really muddy. It would be very difficult to see what was kind of happening. Maybe if there was like a really strong contrast, like red and blue, maybe it wouldn't be quite so bad. But I definitely recommend, if you want to play with the strings that change colors, do it in a pattern where it's boxed in by solids. It honestly, I think, makes it come out looking so much better. So yeah, the diamond wise, you get like 5 of those in the whole bracelet, and those, like I said, those parts super easy. You can segment it. It just comes out really cool. It's the 4 other ones that kind of hung me up a little bit. Still, this was just over an hour to make the whole bracelet, so it wasn't so difficult that we ran into crazy whatever. But it did have me looking at the pattern a lot, making sure that I wasn't making mistakes, because it's a little bit more on the trickier side of doing stuff, and it kind of is what it is. And it's not about, the difficulty isn't because it's a 12-string bracelet or whatever. You could have a 6-string bracelet that is super hard to do versus a 12-string that could be super easy to do. It's about the pattern itself. And that's why I like to share with you my experiences with it, and you know, tell you the difficulty level, because I see people who have these bracelets where it's just a mass of knots and not even look like there's any cohesion whatsoever. And they're like, well, why is this happening to me? And it's because the bracelet you're doing is harder than what you're prepared for, you know, as of now. Like, do the easy ones. There's plenty of easy bracelets out there. I got a whole playlist, you know, for them. Do those and practice those until you get really proficient, and then try a little bit harder and a little bit harder. Because again, it's not about the number of strings. It's about the way that the pattern goes. And I'm sure that there are people who would look at my bracelets and say that they're not perfect. You know, like, what am I talking about? Like, they're, you know, you'll see little waviness on the side or whatever. I would say that they look like they were made by a person. Now, there are people out there who can do these things phenomenally well. I've seen some absolutely amazing bracelets that have been made with patterns that were even potentially very, very difficult. And kudos. But I think that there's a level of human error that makes it kind of more endearing and less like it's done by machine. In a world where we have AI images and everybody's questioning, you know, how things were done, I think there's something to be said for a bracelet like this, where actually you can tell that it was made by a person, you know, who loves the craft, who gets involved with the actual, you know, shaping of it and everything. And I think we're going to have a resurgence back into this, considering a lot of people are just, you know, tired of scrolling through images that are just, they weren't even real, you know? So yeah, I think we're going to see this come back a lot, and I'm here for it. I really am. And I want to teach you guys how to do this, how to balance the bracelet. If you'll notice, it starts with the diamond, it's going to end with one. I think that makes it just a little bit more special. Does it look a little more professional that way? Maybe, sure. Would people prefer it to not? I don't know. I honestly think people prefer the symmetry when possible. And, you know, because I use a template that has been measured out to the right kind of length, I know that my bracelets are going to fit most people, because I've been doing this long enough. I know roughly the size it should be. And so I kind of stick to that and make it possible that anybody could really enjoy these. So there you go. Not a big problem with the strings. There were, like I said, some were used more than others, but at the end of the day, like I said, you can change them out. You can do whatever. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. Wait, we are past the halfway point. Let me thank my YouTube members for making this possible. In fact, I have a YouTube member right now watching me recording all of this, and watch this bracelet get made in real time, because they can see behind the scenes. And yeah, if you're kind of interested in that, you want your name on the list, you want to help contribute to the channel, maybe, you know, throw in some insight of like things that you'd like to see done. I definitely listen to my members, because they obviously have, you know, this channel's interest in mind. So yeah, it's real easy. Next, down by the subscribe, it says join. Yeah, it's like $4 a month. Well, depends on where you live. It might be slightly different, but whatever. It's kind of an inexpensive way of really, really helping the channel. Although you can just hit the like button. That helps, you know, a lot as well. You'd be surprised. It's the little things that makes the difference. So, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I got a bunch of variegated floss in, the color changing kind, and I'm gonna try to just use it all up. It was like a sampler set, and I just wanted to see whether or not it was compatible with the string that I already have. So there's gonna be a bunch of these, And some are going to be like this, where we have like a pink and a red combination. Others, I think maybe we'll go for like a stronger contrast just to see. So if you're kind of curious about these kind of strings and you're thinking you maybe want to try it out, there's going to be a bunch of videos to actually look at and see what kind of combinations do you like the best. Because yeah, some people, they kind of need to actually see it in, you know, made already before they can make the choice of how they want something to look. So I'm here for you. I'm going to try it out. We're going to try a bunch of different ones and see what we come up with. Should be fun. I'm kind of, honestly, I kind of liking this little challenge of doing like 2-color bracelets, or, you know, whatever, just to use up the string. Got a couple minutes left. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you guys. It is a good looking bracelet though. I do like it. It was a little trickier than I thought it was going to be. But that said, it still turned out really neat. I definitely think that whoever gets this one will appreciate it. There's fun colors in it. And the variegated string just gives it a unique look that can't be duplicated. You can't get all the strings to land in the same kind of colorful way that this one had. So you could do it again and it would be similar, but it won't be exact. So I think that's kind of fun as well. I think that's probably why I enjoy working with this string. So now I don't know how far along in this I am. Like, is that the last one? Oh yeah, we are coming. There was a recording error. I thought I hit stop to the record. It didn't. I moved it up. I had to check something. And then, yeah, so it kind of skips for a bit. Yeah, this is... I suppose I could have cut that out, but I don't know. Yeah, so here comes the end of it. Big reveal. You get to check it out. Again, thank you guys for watching. I seriously, if you're this far into the video, definitely consider subscribing, and yeah, hit the like for sure. And yeah, 2 more rows. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.